This is Radio 107.6 FM. It's now time for the Tech Clinic. Assalamu alaikum, brother Ghufran.
Wa alaikum assalam, brother Yasar. Le Clinique de Tech.
The Clinique de Tech.
Le Clinique de Tech.
The Clinique de Tech?
It's the time for the Clinique de Tech.
The Clinique de Tech. What's that? It's French?
Le Clinique de Tech.
Le Clinique de Tech. Is that French?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
super duper.
The Clinique of Tech.
Next week we can have it in German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you, brother Yasar, on this wonderful Sunday afternoon or evening?
I want the rain.
You're not a fan of the sun. It's been nice and warm. Not really.
It's
really
been
warm.
nice, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. In Pakistan, it's 47 degrees apparently in Lahore. So it's only been about 17 today.
I would have not been able to move if it
Yeah.
that.
Yes, indeed.
Too hot.
Indeed.
Too hot. We've got a bit of a show, haven't we, today?
Have we?
I think we have. We've got a couple of questions. We've got 2 segments.
Inshallah.
And we'll top it all off with a bit of ice cream.
Yes.
Don't know how we're going to get that to all the listeners, but
Well, you can buy me some ice cream.
Well, you're
A single flake.
you're my elder,
It
so
won't break the bank.
we'll have to, innit? A single flake. Right, let's get started.
Okay.
So, question. First question, what software is good to do animation?
Okay, there's lots of software out there to do animation. Not sure what kind of animation the person talking about, but let's start off with a really good free option first.
Okay.
There's a if you want to tell a story, one of the easiest and fastest ways to build an animation clip or a story that you can broadcast later on is something called Movitzu. That's
Right.
Muvizu. So muvizu.com is a free, very easy way to build animation. Right?
Mhm.
However, a lot of the professionals will use Adobe Creative Cloud Flash Professional, which is a top-end type of tool. Can be expensive, can be not so expensive, depending on the type of person you are. If you're a student, you can get some student discounts, and there is a subscription model where you don't need to spend hundreds of pounds to actually purchase the software.
Yep.
You can go for a monthly subscription model, so try it out on a trial. If you like it, carry on paying for it. If you don't like it, stop subscribing to it. So you can go to adobe.com and do a search for Flash Professional, and you can use that to do animation. If you want to do video, Adobe have Adobe, I think it's Adobe Premiere, part of CS6, which allows you to do very high-end video production as well. So there's lots of tools out there. The key ones, of course, are Adobe Flash, one of the industry standards. It'd be nice to know any further information from this particular person, what type of animation they're after, because they may decide to use a Mac as their platform of choice, depending on what the requirements are, and also what kind of hardware they're using. So it'd be good to know what the end result is going to be. Are they looking for broadcast quality, which goes out on the TV stations, or are they looking for something more casual to post on YouTube or social networking sites? So you can get away with free solutions in that case, I think.
Well, it depends on the quality as well. Right, second question. What kind of things might be revealed at the upcoming E3 fair?
Okay, the E3 is the EE, so that's why it's called E3,
Okay.
the Electronic Entertainment Expo. So that's the annual video game conference in Los Angeles, one of the actual conference centers there. So it will be interesting because there'll be lots of announcements about what's happening in the world of tech, and particularly around the video games, what's new in the video games. So lots of new games coming out. I mean, there were rumours that the Microsoft would announce their new console.
Yeah.
Allegedly, the Xbox 720 was a code name.
Right.
It's not called that. It's been announced. It was announced a few days ago. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So now the cards have been played. The Xbox next gen console has been previewed. The PS4 next gen console has been previewed. So we can start to do comparisons. Sony haven't given that much away, whereas Xbox have. So we'll talk more about Xbox there. So I suppose the actual titles for those consoles are going to be interesting. However, there's a dark horse which will be revealed, I think, at the E3. There's a games producer called Steam.
Right.
If any people have been playing Counter-Strike, I know some of the old school veteran gamers out there.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike was a big thing on PCs, and it still is. Online communities, and you play it on your PC. Steam, the platform developers of the engine, are releasing a console, and it's going to be called the Steam Box. Okay, so everyone's looking forward to it, because that could really change the way we play games. 'Cause a lot of gaming is all about the online experience, so the Steam box could be the console killer. Okay, but if they can stand up to Sony and Microsoft, all really depends. It's going to be more of a niche PC product than really a true multi-platform gaming champion. So it hopefully will be announced there. So watch out for that. A lot of the E3 stuff is all about lots of games, sequels and so on.
Yeah.
So is anything interesting there? I think you'll see the big boys, EA and Sony and Microsoft, releasing or showing previews of the new titles, which will show off the glory of their new consoles.
Yeah.
Okay. Microsoft may also introduce a new platform called the Xbox Mini. There's rumours floating around about that. So if you've seen the Xbox One, you'll see why they're looking at an Xbox Mini, but we won't let the cat out of the bag until about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Okay. So in Tripoli, it's June 11, 12, 13th, I think. So, which is a couple of weeks. I'm sure as we go past that, we'll have a final summary of what actually was announced in that particular conference. Like all these conferences, you can predict, people can predict, but then once you're there, there may be some groundbreaking news which will reveal as we know what it is.
Definitely.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the next question. I heard a person who randomly took strands of hair from pavements and random Coke cans and took the DNA from them, which then he generated a face on a computer. Is there any truth in this, and how will this affect individual privacy?
Yeah, so this is there's an article, Making Art Out of DNA.
Right.
And there's an artist named Heather Dewey Hagborg.
Okay.
Wonderful name there. And what she's been doing is she has been finding extracts of things like discarded chewing gum, cigarette butts, pieces of hair she finds in the street, around the house, in halls and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And what she does, she's got this technique where she can take those items, and she has a method of finding out the DNA that was on that particular item.
Okay.
So she can take the DNA, and she's via some test tubes and what's called vortexes.
Right.
And she's got this special computer program, which she wrote apparently, which extrapolates the DNA from that sample.
Uh-huh.
And then based on that DNA, she produces a digital face print of what that person could look like.
Right.
It's not exactly correct. However, there was a case where she took a strand of hair belonging to some anonymous person. He was actually an American novelist, and she produced this digital face print. And when the guy saw that, the guy has got no boys. He only got 2 girls.
Yeah.
He saw a younger looking child, a boy, which was almost looking like him when he was in his youth. Okay, so that's just maybe a coincidence, but she has got this technology which produces the face print.
Wow.
Whether it's an infringement on your privacy, I think if you're going to throw things like that away, be careful of how you dispose it. So things like hair, maybe you should not dispose it in public bins, bury your hair or something. I'm not sure what the Islamic way of getting rid of hair is, but so disposing of hair rather. So I don't think it's an infringement on privacy. She's not using that to be malicious, but she's an artist, and I mean it's a bit creepy.
Definitely.
I mean it's certainly going and picking up someone's chewing gum, and it is a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
But hey, I suppose the mind of an artist is the mind of an artist, isn't it? So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's apparently a true story, and there's an article in Go News, so it's. Yeah, interesting. And this happened around May the 10th, just a couple of weeks ago. Okay. Interesting.
Right, moving on from that odd little story there. But next question, any good web editors for beginners?
Yes, lots of good web editors there. If you do a Google for web editors, you might be swamped with hundreds of hits. But what I suggest a person does is that if they're looking for a web editor, to me that implies they want to learn how to do some web development or build a website. So the really good website, something called Code Academy. So codeacademy.com. That's CODECADEMY. So codeacademy.com. On there, you've got some tutorials on how to do basic web development. So within your browser, you can start doing HTML. Okay? So you don't need an editor. If you can use your browser, You can learn the basics of web development. Then you can get a free web editor, and there's some really good free web editors out there. One is called Coffee Cup. Okay, so if you can use a Word document, then you can use something called Coffee Cup for doing HTML manipulation. That's like what you call a what you see is what you get editor. So like it's a WYSIWYG.
Okay.
If you can use Word, as I say, then you can use editor.
Uh-huh.
If you're going to be taking this seriously, then you can use a full-blown development environment. There's something called NetBeans, something called Eclipse, which are full-blown environments for building websites or doing development. So when you're moving into development, you can use that to build a website, HTML. You can do C coding, Java coding, JavaScript, etc. So those platforms are free. There is something called Aptana Studio, APTANA.
Mm-hmm.
That's free as well. But for a beginner, there was one. For the beginner who's not done any development before, there's a tool called Composer. That's KOMPOZER. Okay, for newbies who aren't quite technical but they want to get into web design and to building a website.
Okay.
That's a very good starting point. Then you can take it further into a full-blown development environment. So happy days.
Happy days indeed. Let's move on towards the next question. I need a new charger for my iPhone 4S as the cable has snapped. The ones available from local retailers are really expensive, though with a bit of search on the net, I found some really cheap ones from China. My question is it okay to get the cheaper ones from China, or is it better to buy the original cable from a retailer?
Chinese are everywhere.
Okay.
Bless them. So so iPhone 4S charger, if you go to the Apple store and if you want one within the next day or 2 days, you can buy one for £15. That's the official Apple 30-pin to USB cable.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's quite expensive for a cable, but that's the original deal, built to last longer.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the actual cheap one, so you can go to Amazon or eBay, get one for $150 plus £3 postage. For under £5 you get a nice cable. My experience of the cheaper cables is they'll do the job. If you're unlucky, the build quality might not be the same as, or probably won't be the same as the Apple product. And in some cases, I remember using a cheap cable, the phone would charge, but when the cable was plugged in, you couldn't actually use the phone. Try and swipe the screen, and it just wouldn't work. So that's what you get with a cheaper cable. But you could buy three cheap cables.
Yeah.
If you're if you want a spare as well, keep one in the car, keep one at home. Or if you want one that's guaranteed, I've got some kind of guarantee for the manufacturer. I think it's a 1-year guarantee or whatever. Get one from the Apple store. But you should not be paying more than £15 for a cable.
Okay.
If your local store is selling it for £30, then
no go.
I would.
All right, final question of the day. Any cool apps you can recommend for me to use on my Windows 8 RT tablet? Okay,
the 8 RT tablet, I feel for this person because they've got a fantastic device, but one of the downfalls of Windows 8 at the moment is the lack of choice in terms of apps, if you compare it to our Android friends or our Apple friends.
Yeah.
So Android friends, I said both, Android or Apple friends. But Windows is getting off to a good start, and we're seeing more and more apps. So some really good ones. Certainly there's some really good Twitter type of apps, Metro Twit and Tweetro. You can get your Chrome and Google browsers on that tablet.
Yeah.
Nice thing with if you get Chrome, you can do Google Sync. So if you've got bookmarks on your other devices, they can be synced onto your tablet.
Sweet.
If you're into your movies and streaming, you've got Netflix and something called Hulu, HULU+. That's quite cool. Skype is a must nowadays for instant messaging. There's Skype, and there's something called Flip Toast, good for instant messaging. Was that a yawn there, my dear boy? Am I boring you?
No, please continue.
Sorry. I've embarrassed you now. There is no official Facebook app.
Okay.
So you're restricted to the website at the moment. For news feeds and getting news entertainment, something called Red Hub, REDD Hub, and Stumble Upon is a nice site for when you're bored and you want to get some.
By the way, I know you're going through them. There's no official YouTube app either.
No official YouTube app. So it's a bit surprising, really, isn't it? So you're stuck to using the browser.
Well, they've had a bit of a problem with Google, but they're now making up and doing one in development. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's other useful apps. So there's something You can get Evernote.
Uh-huh.
There's something called Skitch, Skitch.
Okay.
Very good for taking screenshots, and you
Ooh.
can take a screenshot
Yeah.
of what's on your screen,
Mm-hmm.
and then you capture that, and then you can put notes. So if you've seen a really good picture or a really good article from an online newspaper,
Yeah.
you can capture it, and then you can annotate the screenshot and then share it online. Okay. If you've got an Xbox as well, so you can get something called Xbox Smart Glass. Really cool app for interfacing with your Xbox. Pretty fantastic, actually. And you've also got you can get Google Maps via the G Maps app.
Mm-hmm.
G Maps.
Gmaps.
There's something called Bing Maps as well.
Right.
Behind G Maps. So so that's the thing with having a Windows tablet. I suppose. Wait a few more years, might get a few thousand more apps, but
Wait a few years. You never know. It might just pick up. I've got a story on that, so let's move on towards the next segment. That's one of the questions for today. What's new in the world of tech? Yes. Let's have a look. White Nexus 4 released possibly soon. Yes, obviously people have been asking for this. Rumours have been going around for months now of a white version of the Nexus 4 in the pipeline, but it's not been announced officially by Google or LG, though there have been some leaks of the device. Mr. G?
Sorry. Interesting.
He was telling me off about my yawning. Carrying the model number E960W, sources say by Android Police. It looks very nice, doesn't it?
Wow, excellent. The white Nexus 4. Interesting.
Yeah. But so the main thing on that is that the launch of the white Nexus, a source is claiming that it will only come in two options, 8GB and 1632 will not be available on launch. Other specifications remain blurry at the moment, so we're not sure if they're going to be releasing the latest version of Android on that or not. And another little problem with that as well, a bit of a hiccup, I guess, that some people may be put off by the fact that the images are showing only the back of the device will be in white, so the front will still be in black, so only the back.
That's going to be unusual, isn't it? Black
It's
by design.
Yeah, but, this is obviously by leaked images apparently, so there's nothing really confirmed. But it would be great to hear from listeners what they think of the white Nexus 4, which possibly might be coming out. Would anyone be interested in getting one? Or would it be still a case of looking forward to maybe the Nexus 5, the new one that might possibly be coming out later this year? But you never know what's around the corner. Also, Google are considering wireless balloons to deliver internet to countries. I don't know if you've heard about this one, G. Google's news about its ambitious plan to build wireless networks in emerging markets like Africa and Asia isn't really anything interesting because they've already announced this time back. But now they're looking at deploying Wi-Fi to these areas, not the conventional way of cable stringing, but rather by balloons.
Wow.
Yeah, check this out. So Google appear to be planning a fleet of CPUs and Android phones to connect its wireless networks together over airwaves, commonly used for television broadcasts. Reports are saying by the Wall Street Journal that the company is also allegedly planning a few more mysterious methods for getting wireless access up and running in areas previously underserved. So among these methods include the satellite internet and wireless balloons plan, which would use high altitude platforms to blast a wireless signal across an area spanning hundreds of square miles.
Amazing.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? In other words, these ain't just your conventional Wi-Fi routers strapped to weather balloons, and they would also use frequencies different than those used for television broadcasts, an area that company would need to get a governmental blessing from in order to fully deploy, given the regulations involved. But if that gets going, that is pretty awesome. That is really pretty awesome. Obviously means that Google gets free advertising again. Why would they be investing such a great deal of hardware engineering to think into undeveloped areas? Well, the Wall Street Journal is saying that mainly it is to do with the Google Sphere of apps and devices. Doing so in turn helps add to Google considerable success in web advertising. So obviously they get their advertising everywhere.
On the balloon.
Yeah.
You see balloons everywhere.
It could be everywhere with Google advertising.
Novel way of providing a service, isn't it? So
Yeah, I guess it's plus points for them, really. So not even, more than half the globe's not even connected to the web, but gaining this will be a big win for Google, I guess.
So how will that work in practice? So is the balloon really going to be weather friendly? So most of the emerging markets, they've got fantastic weather, but it's not throughout the year, is it?
Not throughout the year, no.
So unless they've got some kind of special way of making the balloons even more sturdy, and it's not going to be like a hot air balloon that I'm visualizing now. Probably a different type of balloon.
I'm not sure. It would be. I would have thought it would be a different sort of one, something that can handle all sorts of different weathers. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what it's going to be. I guess they've already launched a free zone in the fall of 2012. Basically, a service which allows users in the Philippines, Indonesia, and South Africa to use Google services and click through to search results without, incurring any data charges, as it be, on their phones as the main thing. If the users continue to surf the web beyond the results, their searches, however, data cost applies. So basically, they can search for results, and that won't cost them anything. But when they obviously click on the results, that's when it will cost them. That's something which they've already started.
Classic marketing technique. So, wow.
Go smart.
Will that take off in Pakistan, do you think?
Would it take off in Pakistan?
Kashmir or some villages?
They should go for it, but there's too many political things, aren't there, that block normally this kind of stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's why our neighbours tend to get more.
Yeah.
And final story, before we go on to yourself again for the final segment. Microsoft Surface RT price drop continues. Yes, it's dropping down in price.
Mm-hmm.
$399 now, $399 for the 32 gigabyte Surface RT. So it's dropping down fast. Obviously, a lot of the news and the analysts were saying that it's a clear of the stock after poor sales, and that's the main reason why they're dropping the price. But loads of people are actually enjoying the devices at the same time. One of the commenters said that it's actually better than an iPad, thanks to the full flash and browsing anything in widescreen, unlike the iPad. Another person said it's got very good battery, thin keyboard, the smoothest PDF file reader, full Office support, and full Flash web browser. So opinions are divided. So it's really down to what the general market says and how they see the product.
That's £260. So yes, dropped down heavily in price. Isn't it?
Heavily in price. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's all from me. We've got around about 5 minutes now. So, Brother Ghufran, over to you.
Over to me again.
Yes, over to you.
Why?
Give us that all-known last segment of the show.
Okay, so we had a announcement this week.
It's gone all casual.
It was 21st of May.
Okay.
What day is it today? Yeah, Sunday, isn't it? It's the bank holiday weekend.
Yes.
It puts you in a different time zone. So yeah, a few days ago, Microsoft unveiled the new next generation console.
Okay.
And the way they were introducing it was, this is the one device that everyone's been looking for. You wanted the one device that's got all your entertainment. You wanted the one device that's the center of the hub for your family. You wanted the one device that could transform your life.
Uh-huh.
We now released the Xbox One. That's the name of the new device, Xbox One. It's an interesting device. To be honest, my first impression was, what an ugly looking brick. Looks like an old VCR, kind of a chunky device. It's black and gloss, and half it's gloss, half it's matte, I think. So the Xbox One comes with a new version of the Kinect, and the Kinect, the technology in there, it really is like rocket science, Star Trek type of stuff, because they can really detect your wrist movement.
Wow. Okay,
so when you're doing exercise, you can really get down to that definition of how your fingers are positioned if you're twisting your finger and your wrist.
Yeah.
And it's very much voice activated. So the idea is you'll be interfacing with your device. So if you want to watch TV, you'll see Xbox Watch TV. If you want to play a game, you'll say Xbox Play Game. If you want to call Pakistan, Xbox Skype Pakistan. So the idea is you can be watching TV, and just like you change your channel with that kind of speed, you would be able to flick to playing a game or flick to playing or having a call
Yeah.
and then watching TV again. And in some cases, you might want to watch TV and play a game at the same time.
Mhm.
It's very much voice activated. Whether or not it will take off, voice activation has been around for a while.
Yeah.
Will Xbox succeed in this area? I'm not sure, because a lot of the content at the moment is US based,
Mhm.
and where the idea is there's a HDMI input, and
Yeah.
a lot of the TV guides, the actual TV or the provider will need to provide content for that console. Whether or not it'll be supported here straight away, who
Yeah.
knows? I'm going to give some of the bad points. Okay.
Okay.
You have to install games on the hard drive. You've got no choice but installing games on the hard drive. It has to be plugged into a Kinect, so it will not work without the Kinect.
Wow.
And you've got to have an internet connection as well. So I mean, you can use it without the connection, but when it's trying to download content or
Yeah.
getting updates, you'll just start to see messages saying it's failing.
Mhm.
The other thing is, if you like to share games with your friends and you've bought a game and you want to install it at your friend's place,
Yeah.
you won't be able to do that. There might be a charge involved. So if I bought a game and then I come to your house, I want to install it there, I might have to ask you to pay me, or I
actually play the game.
might need to uninstall the game.
Wow.
Annoying. Hard drive can't be replaced. It's got a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and today they're saying
It can't be replaced.
Cannot be
Wow.
replaced. There is a USB 3 port, so you can plug in an external drive.
Yeah.
So, and the big thing for me is there's no backwards compatibility. So
Hmm.
the 360 is a wonderful console, and
Yeah.
people out there bought lots of games there, and you can't support those games as well. So it's going to be very much online content. When it's going to be released there, who knows? But I was a bit disappointed, to be honest, because you're still going to have to be locked down to a
Yeah.
new console, new accessories, new games, and they'll be a lot more expensive. How much will the console cost? It will be a lot more as well.
Mhm.
The PS4 is winning in my mind at the moment. It still seems that simple value proposition. There'll be more content. Or the Xbox One has a Blu-ray drive as well at
Yeah.
last, compared to the PlayStation, who's always had that. So it'll be announced, I think, or for pre-order around Christmas time. They're saying similarly with the PS4 as well.
Yeah.
So, but again, backwards compatibility is a big thing for me.
Big thing indeed.
At this point, I'm not going to buy one.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens. So it's been an interesting week. Lots of boring tech stuff again. So, do we have any listeners, Yasser?
I think we definitely have.
Yeah. Have you got listeners now? Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
I think we've got one listener. I was in a restaurant the other day, and one of the brothers said, "I like listening to your show." So I said, "Yeah, that's one listener."
One listener indeed.
That brother, you shall be not named on air.
There's no need for that.
Yeah, no, then he might stop listening. Oh, you
Exactly.
don't-
We don't want to lose that one listener.
So it's been wonderful again, Yasser. We'll get some more questions coming in next week, and remember, we've got our YouTube, we've got our Facebook. Just please, can somebody call us next week? It'd be nice to get some calls in, and if people like our show, let us know. If they don't like our show, let us know. If they want us to do something different, if they want us to stop and you just want to listen to Gwalis and Nuts for the next from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, let us know. We're here to serve.
We can do that
Yeah.
too. All right, till next time, I guess.
Inshallah.
All right, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.